The world marked International Women's Day on Tuesday, and we continue honoring the women. Award-winning human rights activist and widow Jane Anyango is changing the lives of hundreds of women and girls living in Kibera slums. She targets mainly victims of gender-based violence, especially rape, physical and sexual violence. For over 2 decades, Jane has rescued over 100 girls and tens of women through her charity organization, Polycom Development Project, located at the heart of Kibera. Here is her story.
Women and girls living in informal settlements are more vulnerable to all forms of gender-based violence.
I was still in class 5. It happened, I'm still so naive. I'm just screaming, shouting and crying.
What is the trauma behind what is happening to them?
In Nairobi's Kibera slums, violence against women widely go unpunished. Poverty stands out to be the main cause of the violence.
We have girls who are on drugs, we have girls who are people perpetrators, we have, can I call it, people trying to seduce them or even pushing them into sexual relationships.
Jane Anyango has lived in Kibera for over 2 decades, seeing women endure abusive relationships and girls' rights violated before her eyes by those entrusted to protect them.
Men, if aggrieved, they will go out there and throw stones and shout and do whatever they're doing. What about the women? Because we are all human beings. So what we notice is that women are locked up in the house, crying, not cooking, not doing what, until when the men come back as well, they still vent their anger on them. So yes, women are physically, psychologically, mentally, and just badly affected.
Oh yeah.
Fanny Ugembo is one of the survivors of gender-based violence. She became a victim at a tender age at the hands of a relative. She feels the pain of betrayal after an attempted rape by a close relative.
The action affected me in a way that I became a very silent student. I never used to talk. So anytime in class, someone would wrong me, someone would even step on my toe. I had no voice to speak about anything.
Fanny is one among hundreds of girls whose right to be a woman have been taken away against their will. For Alice, poverty pushed her into an early marriage. What was seen as an avenue to happiness later turned to be a bed of sorrows.
But ni painful. Lakini ni ile tu najikaza nasema acha nivumilie sababu ya watoto. Unajua pia kama una kijana familia pia uwe inaingilia. So unakuta zile vitu anafanya familia pia na support. Anasema sasa kama mimi nimeshindwa kupata mtu kijana yeye afanye aje.
As a feminist for peace and an advocate for rights and justice center, Jane Anyango founded a charity organization to motivate a transformative and equitable social, economic, and human rights justice for vulnerable women and girls living in Kibera slums.
And Polycom works with women and girls. We reach girls through schools, and we are wide. Right now we work with girls in 50 schools. We recruit young women who do the day-to-day walking to schools and mentorship of these girls. And then women, we work with organized groups. So we are only adding value. We acknowledge the fact that these women are empowered and already doing something in their communities.
With over 2 decades in existence, the organization has spread its wings over the entire Kibera slums, helping hundreds of women access education and fighting for justice for victims of gender-based violence.
Our walk-ins are like now these are people coming in physically. I think we have tentatively 10 to 15 in a week. Yeah, that is those who are just walk in. Yeah, but now the ones we meet in schools through the talking boxes are even more. I think in a week we can get as many as 700 cases.
Ile counseling wanatupe imenisaidia by the way. Ikaondoa ile machungu ilikuwa ndani yangu. ikaondoa ile stress nyingi ilikuwa ndani yangu.
For now, I feel so nice. I'm feeling I have healed. I have forgiven them personally, because that is also a process of healing. And the fact that I'm even talking about it, it means that I have even healed.
Through her sacrifices and work, Jane has won local and international awards. In 2010, for example, she won a Peace Award by Community Peace Builder Award.
But I think the most amazing one was in 2010. In 2010, I was picked by the State Department to go to the US as an international visitor for the International Visitor Leadership Program. And then I was a typical Kibera woman. So I was like fished from the slums to DC, to Washington, DC. I was also nominated for the Woman of Courage Award. That is by the State Department, US State Department. I have Woman of Distinction Award. I have recognition from several organizations, locally and internationally.
Polycom is home away from home, because you are embraced, you are given the opportunity, and you're told, run with opportunity.
Yes, there are so many opportunities for the girls, and the opportunity starts with us. And that is why we are doing a lot of self-empowerment for them to be able to see these opportunities and go for them. Because not everybody will hold your hands, or people will not hold your hands to every opportunity. And that is why I'm very proud of my girls. They are doing so much. They are applying for so many opportunities, and they're just flying out there. And that is what gives me satisfaction.
As we celebrate the unsung heroines around the world, Jane Anyango is our heroine, as her endless push for justice and fight for women and girls' rights has made hundreds of young girls in Kibera achieve their dreams. Besides, Kenyan government should ensure women and girls at risk of gender-based violence have access to adequate medical and mental services, safe spaces, financial support and justice.
Africa women on the front line.
For KTN News, I'm Levis Msumba.
Well, we continue honoring those who are making a difference in any way. That's a